Hey guys, it's Keith here and I'm excited to be showing you this one. Very quickly now, we're going to be using our MechVDV formation today. Has not disappointed me yet, so feel free to check it out and play it out for yourselves. We're going to be playing on Riga Airport, focusing on the center right flank, just right side of the airport. There's not going to be a preview this time because it's going to be intense from the beginning all the way to the end, so I have a feeling you're gonna want to sit through this. So grab a popcorn, I'll grab something because I hope you enjoy. Sit back, relax and enjoy the show and watch as I dominate the enemy player on the right flank and even more. And with the start of the game here, we're going to be bringing out the Su-35S. I believe this is the Flanker D variant, a very exceptional aircraft here belonging to the MechVDV formation. It seems like we're the only ones bringing out the aircrafts in here today, and what a beautiful aircraft. But we're going to be quickly bumping into multiple enemy aircrafts today, so we're going to turn tail quickly and try to draw the enemy airplanes towards our SAM batteries here in the center. Hopefully we can we will be managed to dodge some of these missiles here and keep our Su-35S alive. Our teammates SAM batteries now firing away and trying to damage some of these American airplanes today. Manages to take one of the Hornets out and hopefully taking out the enemy Viper as well, so a relatively okay trade. But unfortunately we end up losing our Su-35S without any any gains whatsoever. Nevertheless, it's always good to be bringing out an aircraft, and today because we did bring out the aircrafts ourselves, it allows us to detect the enemy's formation of aircrafts and allowed our teammates to activate their SAM batteries and quickly even out or level out the battlefield here, Nevertheless, our ground forces now are pushing towards the center over on the Echo objectives here, and we're going to be bringing a couple of Karmas with some infantries on board, as well as a Typhoon VDV with a sniper to the right side here. Over on this side of the map, there's plenty of tree lines and forests for cover, and also the objectives around Echo can be quite an attritional warfare here, given the distance between the tree lines here, so we're going to have to be careful and make sure that we use our units to the best of their abilities and keep them hidden most of the times. We're gonna have to be smart with our deployments here. Already we're gonna have a VDV Spetsnaz as well as a Factoria. Factoria is gonna be taking cover in some of these hangars here for the VDV Spetsnaz. Ideally I want to be pushing out beyond the tree line here to keep eyes and try to spot what's coming our way today. All throughout the front, our teammate, actually we are joined by many experienced teammates here, all of them very powerful, and that's the nature of the game. I think at this higher level now that I'm playing on, we're starting to see more developed players, so it's a bit of a tough one, but always a fun game to be playing with decent teammates in this game. We already have a Metis squad. Now, Metis does come equipped with the Cord machine gun, so a very powerful supporting unit, as well as the Metis launchers too, so ideal for medium to long range engagement. But generally, you don't want to be using the Metis as a frontline infantry whenever you can, so a Metis would ideally be behind certain infantry squads. We do have a Igler, or this is a Motostruck Igler team, so it does comes with a squad of infantry able to hold on their own very much so, and is also equipped with an Igler launcher able to cover the skies for us in case any helicopters coming in. So already we're going to be facing off against the Peach player here, and we're going to be bumping into his M10 Booker. This M10 Booker is actually a very dangerous threat for my units here. I've been having a lot of difficulties with the M10 Booker here, combined with the LAV AED now just hammering at my Metis squad. So my Metis unable to do any significant damage. We did waste some of the APS on the Booker, but unfortunately we did lose the Metis squad, so we're gonna have to quickly pull back our Factoria now out in the open. Seeing that the enemy is using double AAVPs here, telltale sign of the Marines right now, so our VDV Spetsnaz is gonna have to leg it as the enemy mortars now shells our position. We're gonna have to make sure that we keep our units alive until reinforcement comes in. You can see the Strela as well as the Motostrelki Igla working together now, taking down the enemy drone. We're gonna be able to deny the enemy some form of recon advantage this early on in the game. Factoria is gonna be launching a couple of missiles towards the Booker, but unable to really take it out as the enemy Viper pushes in. I believe that's a Cobra actually with the rockets right now. But here we go, as the enemy continues to shell our positions, the Marines are moving directly where I want them to be, as our BMP-3 with the Motostrelkis now come into position. And notice how I'm using the BMPs right now from a distance. The Marines as well as the small team actually has anti-tank rocket launchers able to destroy my BMPs, but keeping my BMPs out from a relatively distance. So beyond the Marines range, I am able to keep the BMP alive while using or leveraging the BMP's fantastic damage against those Marine squads. So quickly eliminating one of the small team as well as suppressing and damaging the Marine squad. Generally, that's how you want to be using your vehicles in this situation. Don't keep your vehicles close to where the enemy has range. In fact, if you can use your vehicles from a distance, because remember guys, the vehicles actually has a longer range than you would expect them to be. So using my vehicles here as supporting assets while my infantry pushes in to tank the damage and engage the enemy up close. T-72 B3M also launching a couple of shells, and this T-72 is lucky to be dodging or surviving the enemy cluster strike here. I did have the Duplo bring in a large supply dump, and as usual in my games here, I'm going to be using the Karmas to ferry all of my supplies through critical locations where my units needs them to be. That was a very brutal fight, but totally it went mostly our way actually. So we managed to eliminate a lot of the enemy Marine squad, and we also managed to keep our units alive, as well as this Motostrelki team is pulling back right now. We do have the other one getting into the BMP, and the BMP is going to be driving away from the enemy mortar fire right now. Karma's already coming in and dumping those supplies, crucial and necessary to keep my units alive. And at any point, as always, any point in the game, keeping your units alive is the most important thing you can do at any phase of the game, because when you keep your units alive, you're able to use them in the longer term, more guns down the range, and generally be a larger threat to your opponents. As we keep our units alive, we're going to get them topped up, as well as the Factoria right now. We do manage to keep eyes onto the enemy LAV, and that's thanks to my sniper teams who's in the tree line right now. Teammate with his own BMP being cheeky on the right side here. And actually, if you look at the map here, we do actually have a solid foundation across the entire front. So our teammate on the right side, thankful to him for securing our flank, so we only need to focus on pushing through towards the front here against the Peach player. Nonetheless, we are still going to be bringing in more reinforcements right now, and I want to be building up my forces here and before I can generally safely push out towards the enemy objectives. The enemy is also undoubtedly trying to build up his forces there, so really it's a race against time, as we want to make sure that we have the units topped up, freshen up, and back into defensive position before the enemy can effectively do so. Excuse me. This area of the map allows for a lot of sneaky sniper movements here. As you can see, I'm using my snipers to be pushing into this tree line here. Having recon here is absolutely crucial. In fact, having recon in most of your games would be absolutely crucial, because you want to be able to spot what the enemy will be fielding against you, and more importantly, what the direction of the enemy attack might be coming from. You can see that my Factoria actually has line of sight against the enemy LAV, but I don't want to be exposing my Factoria at the moment. I want to be waiting for the enemy to commit to his push before I unleash the Factoria, destroying his assets here. Timing is crucial, so having the discipline to fire is something that I think most players should realize. And when you can comfortably command your units and make sure that they engage at the best possible moment. So you want to be engaging the enemy whenever you have the most amount of advantage here. can see our sniper in a perfect position to be spotting that the enemy strikers are now moving across the open, out in the open here, moving towards the echo position, echo objectives. The enemy Viper now hanging overhead is going to be engaged by my teammate's pants here actually, over on the right side. We do not have line of sight against that Viper. Our Motostrelki currently holding position, preventing the enemy from capturing echo. We're going to have some reinforcements here, a Desaniki as well as the Okdomachiki squad pushing into one of these larger hangars here. We're going to try to engage the enemy at its close distance. Given the gaps here and the line of sight that is being blocked or provided by these hangars here, we're going to have to make sure that we keep our units safe and pushing our infantry up close and making sure that our vehicles here, you can see the T-72 B3M having a cheeky line of sight against the enemy M10 Booker. Desaniki pushing forward is going to be facing off against the enemy Marine squad, and that's when our BMP-3 is going to be launching a lot of autocannon rounds directly into the Marine squad. Desaniki as well as the Motostrelki now pushing overhead, but our Okdomachiki squad was heavily wounded by the enemy M10 Booker, so we're going to have to use the BMP-3 to pull him out. A second tank now arriving on the field. It's going to be guarding our right flank now as the enemy piles a lot of units into the center here, all grouped up, so that's a very dangerous position for him. As you can see, we're going to be exploiting that very quickly later on. Enemy mortars now raining down on us. As much as I want to keep the Desaniki in position to contest against the enemy push, it is far better for me to pull my units back, get them freshened up, keep them alive so that I can counter-attack and keep them back in. A lovely cluster strike by the enemy squad, enemy plane, and our teammates S300 actually destroys our BMP, but the Su-34 comes in and bombs a lot of target, as well as launching a seed missiles towards the purple SAM batteries towards the back here. So that was a lovely bombing strike by my Su-34. Very quickly we just destroyed a lot of the enemy units. We're going to take this opportunity to push our Motostrelki out. Again, fresh units, healthier, not stressed, while simultaneously we're going to be bringing back the wounded ones to its supply dump. And you can see how effective a bombing run can be when the enemy grouped up most of its units here. I think our Su-34 just quickly eliminated a single Booker M10, a couple of striker ICVs, as well as double infantry squad belonging to the Peach player. So a gentle reminder not to bunch up your units, especially when assaulting positions here. You want to be assaulting a position from a wide open front with multiple angles whenever you can. Factoria is going to be unleashed right now and destroying the aforementioned LAV AD. Sorry, that's just a regular LAV, so quickly destroying that, and we're going to be pulling back the Factoria to a supply dump. Always remember to move your ATGMs or essentially any units that has already revealed its position. Our Motostrelki is going to be pushed up to the tree line here solely to get their RPGs downrange. Hopefully we're going to be engaging and destroying these small teams as well as the AAVP T-72 B3M. This one does come equipped with the APS. It's going to be pushing up to engage the small head-on against the small on a front armor, presenting the front armor of the T-72 B3M. This T-72 is going to have no problem against these small teams here. Motostrelki once again going to be pulled out once they are dropped down to low health. As always, we want to be keeping our units alive as possible. The enemy commits a Viper to the fray right now, and our Strela as well as Eagle team unable to get line of sight. Our teammates K-17 Boomerangs now getting intercepted and quickly destroyed by the enemy helicopter, so kudos to our enemy player here intercepting those K-17 Boomerangs. Right now I'm just using my BMP-3 once again like a battle taxi. It's going to be picking up these Motostrelkis and bringing them back to a supply dump to get them healed up. Already you can see throughout the entire game I've been using my Kama's VDVs to really shift that bulk supply dump that I brought in earlier into multiple dumps, multiple locations, so that all of my infantry, all of my units as well as my teammates here will be free to use relatively close to the front line. A second Su-34 bombing strike comes in. unable to secure any kills this time, but unfortunately, but no doubt we're gonna be able to damage some of them, at least keep the enemy back for the time being as well. Our teammate towards the right has been very successful against the orange player and is already pushing up a couple of his own BMPs into the tree lines here. Seeing the enemy having a flanking position right now, I'm committing my tanks to the fray and trying to draw out the enemy's attention to see hopefully he can, well, at least as a distraction force here. I'm trying to eliminate some of the enemy forces here while my teammate pushes BMP deeper behind enemy lines and trying to catch any potential reinforcing units. The enemy does commit an M1A1HC, but taking a flanking shot from my T-72B3. With his tank smoking out right now, I'm pushing out my forces as I see my teammates now moving ever closer towards the open here. And he is going to be bumping into these resupplying point here belonging to the enemy side, and our units are now moving into position to be flanking or providing or surrounding the enemy position in this small tree line here. A couple of Su-57 very cool low flying just beyond our lines here as we have a glorious engagement now pushing in and completely surrounding the Peach player's units. Our teammate here successfully destroys one of the Hemets, or the resupplying lorry that is supposed to bring out supplies to our Peach players here, currently holding out in this thin tree line, really putting a lot of pressure onto this Peach player here. BMP-3 as well as the T-72 now hampering the M1A1HC, as well as all of our infantry now being into positions. Excuse me. And we finally successfully destroys the enemy tank. We're taking fire from the enemy ATGM here, so we're gonna have to pull our T-73B out. Snipers now, I'm gonna moving into position. As you can see, I'm continuously developing my position, pushing whatever units I can comfortably into good positions. In this case, the sniper is gonna be taking cover in one of these buildings here, which is gonna be providing me a very good line of sight across the open right now. That was a lovely bombing strike actually, so I'm surprised why my BMP was not destroyed. Thankfully, the BMP was not destroyed, so we're gonna be able to keep that BMP there for the time being. As the enemy Cat, I believe that's a Cat Saber team, launches a missile towards my T-72, BMP is gonna be able to engage that. But the second Cat Saber is now engaging my BMP-3, so we're gonna have to be careful. Spoking that BMP-3 out. Once again, pulling the BMP-3 back to the supply dump and get them healed up. All throughout the front, well, this entire time, I'm keeping up the pressure, making sure I cycle out units in and out, keeping the enemy on the back foot, not giving him any chance to push through, while simultaneously making sure that my units get back to a safe supply dump, get them patched up. You see my Ipuhoka there, BMP-3 Ipuhoka. It's going to be eliminating the enemy AAVP, but there is a Cat Saber team, so hopefully our neon green player here is going to be able to move his BMP-3s into position and eliminate that Cat Saber from behind. More T-72 now joining us on the front lines here. It's our snipers. Our sniper actually managed to creep up, and now here we go. The neon player now sees the opportunity and it's going to be pushing the BMPs into the Cat Saber. We're going to be taking the chance as well to push our Epoca and eliminating the flanking Cat Saber, as well as catching the convoy of reinforcing units now belonging to the Peach player. Simultaneously, the neon player also pushing his BMPs out. We're going to be engaging the enemy forces out in the open right now. Our units now patched up. BMP is going to be pushed forward, as well as the T-72 as well. But the enemy Viper now comes in and cleans up most of our units that is flanking the enemy. So our Strela, unfortunately running out of missiles, is going to have to be pulled back. Motostrelki holding the line. It's going to be bumping into the small team here. And we're going to be bringing in fresh reinforcements to engage the enemy players. T-72 again, Wolfpack tactics here, bringing two of them together is going to be able to quickly destroy any potential targets coming in. Let's get on the right side here, a missile launches into the M10 Booker, and that's going to be my KA-52 Alligator. Unfortunately, bringing up too close, but a pulling back and cheeky rocket strike into the supply dump is going to be killing off the second M10 Booker. So again, we have quickly eliminated the enemy's forces, but unfortunately our own forces are now quite damaged as well, so we're unable to push forwards once again. K-52 is going to be brought back, once again keeping it alive and safe back to a supply dump. Now we did briefly see that the enemy does have triple, I think these are mechanized infantry belonging to the cavalry units here. And we're gonna have to be careful. They do come equipped with javelins as well as AT-4s, so able to engage vehicles from a long and short range. A T-72BA does not have the ABS, but it's gonna be able to damage one of these forces here at least. We're gonna be smoking that T-72 and reversing it back, and that's when I'm gonna be queuing up the Su-34. Once again, I'm gonna be using the Su-34 and bomb these units that are grouped up together. We did end up losing one of our BMP-3, and here we go, the Su-34 flying overhead right now. Plenty of missiles coming in. Su-34 is going to be dropping the bombs. We did end up losing the Su-34, but once again, this bombing strike has been beautiful, fantastic against these Peach player right now. With the enemy forces now hampered and cleared of the enemy forces just beyond the tree lines here, the T-72, we're going to be telling our units now to push forward to grab more territory. And the objective right now is to get into positions where we can deny the enemy some cover. So you can see the tree lines to our front offers a lot of cover for our side, and it's going to be able to deny the enemy cover when they're pushing in towards the tree lines here. Teammates on the right, the neon green player here is also pushing a bunch of BMP-1s with the Motostrelkis towards down the road here. Once again, using the aggression that we've just created here, or effectively wiping out the Peach player, he's going to be taking that opportunity to push in his units. I think the domination between myself and the neon green player on the right side of the map here has has persuaded the orange player to give up on playing on this side of the flank and has committed his forces across the tarmac here. So this kind of leaves the Peach player alone, and with him facing off against myself and the neon player here, without a strong positions to contest, because we're continuously and consistently keeping up the pressure and preventing him from building up or amassing a decent enough force. He's also going to be pulling off his units across the tarmac here and joining the fight over on the other side. So needless to say, our aggression here has completely dominated this side of the flank, and we have secured our territory. Right now it's all about keeping our units topped up and making sure that we solidify our defense here and prevent the enemy from breaking through. One thing I do think about sometimes in this game is, and it's something that I don't think a lot of people talked about, especially on YouTube, it's always crucial to remember that you're playing against other players as well. So sometimes having these kind of aggression and constant pressure is gonna incur a certain kind of psychological cost towards the enemy. I think I'm just rambling right now, but the pressure that we've been putting against these enemy players here, I think it's just too much for them to handle, so they're gonna give up this side of the ground here and join the fight across the other side. Already you can see in the middle of phase 2 right now, we are at a fantastic lead in terms of kill score as well as the territory secured. So it was rather a lopsided affair here. Snipers now moving into the center of the tarmac here. I always find it kind of funny and cute that the snipers can effectively just hide out in the open because of the way the detection here works. But our snipers is going to be taking cover in one of these buildings here, and it's going to be providing a lot of vision across the tarmac. Once again, the VDV, Karma's VDV is going to be picking up the supplies from the Duplo and shipping it around to make sure that most of our units gets the supplies. We also did manage to capture the Peach Player's supply dump here, as our BMP-3 is just currently sitting on. Now at this point of the game, I was thinking that we've sort of secured domination across our side of the flank here, which has the unintended consequences of pushing all 5 enemy players across the airfield. So the 3 teammates on the other side of the airfield now has to be contending against 5 enemy players. So we're gonna have to quickly think of a solution or some kind of a plan here to support our teammates on the other side. But for the time being, most of our attention right now is just focused on keeping our units alive, making sure that we get more reinforcements in position so that we can secure this side of the flank. But eventually we're gonna have to look into putting units on the other side of the airfield and supporting our teammates on the other side. There is, if you can see right now, there is a juicy target just across the airfield here. The enemy Pack 3 is just sitting on top of the hill, and I was also thinking about pushing our tanks across, but the open field, the wide open gap in the center, this close to the enemy reinforcing lines, it's gonna make me a very dangerous threat. Well, it's gonna be a very difficult task to achieve. K-52 now is gonna be engaging these units up close, slinging some of these Igla missiles towards the enemy Viper teams, Viper helicopters here. But the enemy also has some AA missiles, so we're gonna have to pull back our Ka-52. Triple Akatsia is now being brought in. We're gonna see if we can launch some artillery strikes supporting our teammates across the airfield right now. Strelas are topped up and it's gonna be brought to the front, using these 3 lines here to hide and take cover in, as our tanks are now gonna be pushed into position. Teammates, neon greens attack helicopters here, I believe these are Alligators themselves, also launching long-range missiles across the open field. I think that's a RBK-70, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but that's actually a Baltic manpad teams. But here we go, the orange player bringing out a lot of little birds here, trying to take down our teammates' helicopters, but it's gonna be quickly intercepted by both our Strelas as well as the BMP and tank here. F-35 flying overhead, it's gonna be engaged by my Tunguska as well as the Strela here, and our position in these 3 lines makes it so much more difficult for our enemies here to bring in reinforcements, as we have this reinforcing routes rather locked down. I was thinking about pushing our tanks across, but I wanted to wait until the beginning of phase 3, as if you can see in the scores right now, we are way above the threshold for our points here, and we want to be capitalizing on getting more points when we enter the 3rd phase. So for the time being, I'm just going to be bringing in some reinforcements to the center to help our teammate in the dark green here to hold his position as we prepare to enter the 3rd phase. With the lull in the game right now, I just want to say a quick thank you for watching my videos. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it as much as I love playing them. I try to I definitely like this game and enjoy this game very much. So let me know in the comments below what do you think about my recent videos so far, and if you have any suggestions or comments on my casting abilities. It's definitely something I'm still working on, but anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Just want to say thank you very much for your support. I sincerely enjoy and appreciate it. Anyway, back to the game. Our Akatsias now are gonna be shelling some of these suspected position, but ideally I want to be smoking this position, as we do have a couple of Kamas here with some Thessanikis as well as the Okmachiki squads trying to penetrate into the enemy position here and recapture that objectives for our side. Strela's gonna be moving around to dodge the enemy strikes here. And temporarily our neon green player disconnected from the game, but he's gonna be back soon. I think this is minor disconnection. With the Akatsia now providing some smoke covers, our Kama is very soft vehicles here. It's gonna be ferrying some of our troops across, and we're gonna be looking to assault the enemy objective. Our tanks now just continuously shelling the enemy forces here. The enemy Cat Saber team caught out of position, and it's going to be quickly destroyed. "15 seconds left in the end of phase 2, and our units are beginning their assault into the enemy objective. So keep eyes on the reinforcing route as well. And you can see how dominant we are in this match here. As we enter phase 3, and this is when I'm starting to position my units and making sure that I get them ready to assault across the tarmac here. I'm just waiting for the enemy's reinforcement to bypass us, or go past us at least, because we don't want to be encountering the enemy reinforcement midway. But our assaulting force here is going to be bumping into the red player's green beret. This green beret is equipped with the incendiary MRO launchers, so a very dangerous threat to my infantry. Even though the green beret only has 3 men left, still it's a it's a very deadly and serious threat to our assaulting force here. We're going to be queuing up a lot more reinforcements on this side. This time we're going to be bringing up some BMPs as well as some VDV Spetsnaz. We'll hopefully challenge and contest the Bravo objective. Gonna have to be careful here, because once again we're coming up against 5 players on this side of the map. You can see once again the enemy's green beret with his launchers now quickly burning up my Okmachiki before they can even fire a single shot out. Enemy bringing out a lot of seed missiles. These are prowlers belonging to the marine side here. Ghostface, the neon green player, is back online now. Our units are in a position to be spotting that the peach player has a lot of strikers moving into position, contesting against the Bravo objective. As our teammates in green and dark green now pushing their BMPs into formation and reinforcing our units in the Bravo sector. Gonna be using the Factoria across, keeping my infantry on the tree line to cover our tanks' eventual push into the enemy back lines here. As a lot of units are now appearing. The peach player has once again bunched up his units in the center. So we're gonna be using our Akatsia, but this Akatsia is gonna be targeting the green beret's position. Ka-52 flying in to try and provide some helicopter support. The Ka-52 Alligator does come equipped with some rockets here, as well as some Vikir missiles, as well as Iglas, able to really contend with any kind of forces here. Lovely cluster strike coming from the enemy's Vipers here, but gets destroyed, leaving the front. As our Ka-52 Alligator launches a lot of rockets into the red players' rangers here. Akatsia continuously to shell the enemy's position. What a lovely flight. BMP now arriving, and we're gonna be contesting the enemy position, but the enemy has surrendered. It's a GG. What a fantastic game. From start to finish, it was just non-stop action. We did not get the most kills, but we did end up with the highest KD ratio here, so 6,390 kills, 1,725 deaths, with a lovely ratio of 3.70. Plenty of medals here, and it was just a fantastic match to watch. What an absolute game. I hope you enjoyed this one. I absolutely love playing it. It was definitely an intense one. As always, I'll see you in the next one, guys.